By the way, we've got a good amount of people here in the studio. I'm actually really surprised. Very filled up in here. In the upper right, in the red.
MVP 치킨 마루 Departure.
So Departure definitely doing quite well for himself when it comes to fans. He's got a ton of fans. Like you mentioned, there's so many people here. Like just turning around, there's way more people than I even thought. Like it's actually almost filled in here. Like, and when I say filled, I don't mean like normal filled. I mean like fire hazard filled.
Yeah, there's a fire in here. We're all gonna die, man. This is this is what's going on. No, it's packed in here.
It's
very
massive.
exciting. A lot of sparked interest here in Legacy of the Void.
That's really good to hear. You know,
it's
or
good
to see.
It's really good. It's even better to see than to hear, man. I'm physically seeing it right now.
Yeah, and you guys will too in some of these camera shots coming up. But I'm starting to notice a trend in this matchup where most of the Zergs who find success, especially we've seen a lot of upsets, for example, but we even saw Bjeld with great success yesterday in Star League, are doing creative and unique builds. The kind of builds you were talking about are the hidden builds, maybe the builds you don't show that much, you don't stream them, you don't always play them on ladder, maybe you do them in-house with your teammates a little bit. And a build like Departure's aggressive timing there was very difficult for Stats to hold. Now most Pro players are playing the exact same build every time, usually 2 Gateway Adepts into double Stargate Phoenix into double Robo Immortal Archon High Templar. And I think that the predictability of how Pro are playing right now has started to backfire a little bit if they don't do a lot of damage in the early game. And Departure dealt with the early game insanely well. He had his Lings positioned well on the ramp. He had the Queens to kind of poke the Adepts out. Then after that, he just followed up with a really cool attack.
Let's see what happens. We did see some builds where they would do like a one base into expand, a depth play. I guess the other question is, where do you go from here? I mean, Protoss has always been a race since the beginning of StarCraft that had, you could open up one way and then switch that into a variety of different plays. I mean, Protoss essentially has to randomize their play a little bit more than, for instance, Terrans have historically. Terrans, you can at times tell them what you're doing and still get away with it. I mean, there are exceptions, but generally speaking, and it looks like this build is going to, in fact, be the same build we saw last time. So let's now take a look and see if Stats adjusts any part of this or if he will blame that last loss entirely on force fields, because right now the builds are basically the same.
Yeah, for both players.
Even the Lings here at the ramp.
Yep, getting a little bit faster Ling speed, but otherwise basically the same. The Queen's going to be here to zone these Adepts out. If he tries to shade, the Lings are there to block him. If he commits to trying to kill the Queen, that'll never happen. The Lings are also there. He can split them in half. And a quick Evolution Chamber, actually, for Departure this game. So wants to get some upgrades out. And that's definitely a little bit different from what we saw last game. But a big swell of Lings coming in here.
And this one with the Evolution Chamber, let's see, I mean, it might be something like range attack for a strong follow-up or armor, for instance. If we do see some kind of timing attack. In this game, by the way, Stats has decided that he should, in fact, come in here and try to do some harass. It looks like this is not going to work as they were chased out.
Yeah, he just ends up trading a little bit there. These Adepts could be caught by these Lings, but it looks like it's just going to be a massive Speedling attack. Look at this. He's making 3 more Overlords and nothing but Lings.
Did Protoss see the Evolution Chamber?
I don't think so, but it's not being utilized.
We don't actually have the setup we used last year.
Oh, he's got Overlord drop. Okay,
never mind. This is...
So there's going to be an Overlord drop. I actually forgot this is even a thing because we haven't really seen it that much in competitive play.
Yeah, we've seen it very, very slightly.
Yeah.
But this might be the exact kind of play because, look, he's only got, 3 sentries here. He's probably going to try to trigger the pylon cannon right now. And there he does. He triggers it, but it's only 1. Then the Lings unload here. And
he's going to wait.
It would be great if he got that pylon actually up there. Meanwhile, an attack over here, not baited out any force fields just yet. 11 drones behind this, so he's intending to just do damage with this first and foremost.
Yep. Now let's see if
oh my god, the Lings are going to come down here because they surround the Nexus. They back up again.
If he can get this Nexus, that'll be huge. It looks like he's going to go for the army instead. Force fields this time are good and also on the ramp to block those Lings out, so he's going to have to back off with those for now. But 9 probes already going down here. We do have 2 Stargates again as the follow-up. 4 Stats. A few more probes likely to fall here as these Lings eventually get pushed away.
To put this into perspective, it's been a dozen probes killed so far here, and there were about a dozen drones being made during this attack. So you can see that right now. If they were even before, it's the exact difference of that. It's 55 drones now to 43 probes. So great play there by Departure, just identifying what the build Stats was doing and making the proper modifications to punish him.
Something the Korean observer is pointing out is the late gas here on the third base. So he's actually got quite a surplus of minerals, but it's going to make his Phoenix production somewhat stunted here as he tries to also make 2 robotics facilities as well. But he has a surplus of minerals. We do see as Departure scouts this, he makes those same spore crawlers from last game. The evolution chamber is now being used for the +1 range for ground units, as well as getting roach speed and a Hydralisk Den.
Yeah, this is so far just a really great game here from Departure. I mean, he's playing Zerg the way that we understand good Zerg players to, approach the game. He's looking at what the build is. He's making the few switches in there. I think Stats has been a little bit too predictable. He already made it work last game, Departure did, but this time around, the moment he saw it was the same thing, he said, I got another build that parlays perfectly into mid-game with this. Yep. Stats is not actually attacking here, but applying pressure, trying to get Zerg to make a little bit more defense, to slow down on drone productions if he can at least get him to chill out on that, but I don't know if it's going to work. To note on the map as well, Protoss doesn't have the easiest time taking a base after the third base on this map specifically.
Yeah. Now we do see a Queen gets grabbed here, just barely out of range of that Spore Crawler. There's a few Hydralisks here, but not enough, so he actually has to pull those back because they will get killed in small numbers by these Phoenixes. Hydras need to stay back, but a few more drones killed, a lot of pressure being done here. Now with a quicker Twilight Council like this, he hasn't made a few Adepts in a while. I'm wondering if he's going to go ahead and grab that Adept attack speed upgrade, or if he's just going to use this for +2 and charge, which is the more common. The Stats is playing how everyone is playing right now. He's going to get charge, he's going to go double Immortal, the Temple Archive is going to come up. It's almost like a, he's following a recipe that all processors are following for PvZ right now. He's got his own flavors he adds in, a few extra spices of how many Phoenixes he wants to make, for example.
He adds pesto into his build.
Yeah.
Let's see how effective it is, because right now Departure, I really like how he's playing this overall a lot more. Note, he's now getting range attack. It seems like this is almost like, remember how DRG back in Heart of the Swarm would stay on layer for a long time?
Yeah.
Sometimes against Terran. It seems like we're having like the DRG version of this in Legacy of the Void in a Zerg vs Protoss. He's getting range attack, which tells us he's going to stick with Hydras. Anything range, basically.
Yep.
Excuse me. Obviously, Ravager's going to benefit from this as well.
Yep.
And he's just going to keep bludgeoning the would-be fourth base over and over again. You can see he's almost maxing out, which is not hard to do if you have any kind of roach composition in your army. And I think he just attacks over and over again, maybe based off the belief that Protoss is a bit too flimsy on all sides since the tech is too heavy everywhere.
Well, his force fields are really good this time, Tasteless, and actually even with Ravager Bile, the Corrosive Bile knocking them down, he didn't really find much of an angle there. Now, the important things to note for Stats is his charge is finished now, and also his Storm is getting closer. He's getting Resonating Glaives for his Adepts, so he can start adding those in for harassment later.
This is going to be a much better angle for Zerg, so let's see how this actually goes.
Yep, just poking in here.
I love the Corrosive Bile used there on the pylons. I think that's the most effective use of that. Now he's using it right here in the middle of this army to get some of those Immortals in a worse position. But it looks like Protoss doing just a fantastic job synergizing his army so well.
This is not looking good for the Zerg army right now. A few Corrosive Biles get dodged again here. And this Protoss army is just going to walk over the remaining roaches. The reinforcements are coming, and I think they should probably turn around. I don't think he can actually win this fight.
Well, it's just the Immortals down the front. The problem is there's so many Immortals, I don't know if you can actually target down effectively in time like you see here. I mean, when you have 5 Immortals out.
Yeah. Plus, Phoenix is lifting half your army that's left on the ground anyways. And,
I mean, even if... Well, I'm not going to get too technical here, but I mean, point in case, there's so many ways that you can hold that. As a Protoss player, that was really nicely done. It seems like you get a key number of Immortals, and yeah, you can in fact hold that. The idea of Departure getting maxed out and just having such a big death ball that he can come in there and run over his opponent did not seem to work. Maybe it would have been more effective if the Corrosive Biles had shut down the force fields a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Because there was that pretty gross moment where he caught a huge number in there. Oh, I like this, though.
This is really smart, but let's see if it pays off. A few Immortals coming out to defend, but the real big thing is the Protoss counterattack, because he knows the composition that his opponent has built is weak versus his heavy Immortal comp. So he's just going to go walk across the map and say, you got nothing but roaches, I got nothing but Immortals, guess who wins this fight?
Problem is Lings can't be too helpful here either, since there are Zealots coming out.
Yeah, as well as, he can warp in Adepts. If
Not to mention he upgraded range attack, so the Lings, in that sense, even less effective.
That's true.
because the strategy was hinged on winning about the 9-minute marker.
Well, Storm's going down the top of the Hydras here as well. This is looking like it is going to be game over. I think we're going to go to a tie score here, Tasteless. There's no way that Departure can hold.
I think you're probably right. He's just in that sweet spot where everything that comes out is going to be gunned down. Nowhere to regroup. Nicely done by Stats. I like the build by Departure. Unfortunately, he was not able to take out that fourth base.
He wasn't able to break that defense.
That's been a style of play in RTSs that's gone on for a while. I don't like calling it cheese because it's not, but it's a very specific timing where you hit this critical number and you try to tackle the fourth base, because if you take that out, Protoss pretty much can't back up, especially not with an army that's, as an example, comprised of Immortals. Immortals don't get to run away.
Yeah, you're almost trying to like gimp the Protoss. You're trying to like actually hit them in a way where like you break off one of their arms and then like.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, yeah, you're trying to break a limb, and it seems like he just managed to hold that pretty nicely. I think the angle of that initial attack was bad, and then the control was really good from there by Stats. It's now 1-1.
Yeah, and it was a really well-timed attack as well. It's just that there's so many Immortals out. The force fields are really good, and the follow-up was just simply more Roaches. And I think maybe he could have spent his money after that initial failure to try to get something else out. But like you said, he had the upgrades in the ranged units. You didn't have, the ability to get a Lurker Den, for example. So it was he was kind of trapped there in that composition, which was heavily countered by all those Immortals. It was like 12 Immortals versus 24 Roaches. Like one Immortal on its own with Barrier can kill like 5 Roaches, or even potentially more. So obviously, like, he just counterattacks and wins the game. The Roach counterattack was a cool idea because maybe he gets in there and forces, the Protoss army to turn around. But there was a wall there.
Immortals as slow as they are, I don't think you can turn around. So he just pushes up. And remember, Zerg did get the range attack there, so Lings are pretty useless. Stats definitely got the right unit composition. Now, will Stats do the same strategy again in game number 3? That's totally possible. Yeah. Departure, though, if he's following this and we are in a best of 5, he can keep making adjustments to try to take out a build like that. If I were Stats, I would try some other strat here.
Yeah, because he's done the same build exactly twice. He's done the build that most Protoss are playing in PvZ. Departure has shown us already in 2 different games 2 totally different play styles and 2 cool ways to harass and be aggressive that kind of, I guess, like forked into the same location, like the same sort of timing attack with different ways of doing pressure before that, like a Ling attack and then a Ling drop. But in this game, I would actually, just knowing Stats in StarCraft 2 after how many times I've commentated him, he is probably going to do the same build, especially on Ruins of Saris, an even bigger map where he has more flexibility. I would bet big money he's going to do the exact same thing. I don't know if it's the best choice, but I think that's what he's going to do.
You may be correct, Wolf. I mean, based off of Stats' play style, it's possible he just has this one thing he knows, and he's practiced it so much. He better hope that's the best way to play Protoss versus Zerg if that's the case, because Departure is free to continue to make adjustments in his play style.
Absolutely. So, this game is not the final game, guys. If you're just tuning in, it's a best of 5. So they need... either player needs at least 2 more wins, or actually needs 2 more wins exactly in order to win.
No, 1.5 win. And we're going to see which player that's going to be. This is the GSL Code A, game number 3, Stats versus Departure. Let's do this. In the upper right, in the blue.
KT Rooster Pet.
In the bottom left, in the red, he is.
I think you jumped the gun on that one, Tasteless.
I did. He is.
MVP 치킨 마루 이파트라.
There we go. There he is. Now, Departure definitely showing us more variety in his playstyle. Look at that crowd. Look at how many people are in here right now.
Does anyone think our game is dead?
No.
No.
Nobody thinks that. I've never seen anyone say anything like that before.
No, never. Not on the dark alleyways of the internet.
No one has ever once whispered of the death of this beautiful thing that we love.
Dan and me were talking about this in another cast, but like it's actually a fact that back at Brood War, people were saying StarCraft was dead all the way back in 2001. It's actually just like been the thing that's been going on. It doesn't make any sense. We're always like, what, like top 5, top 6 on Twitch. Like, we're doing fine. We've always been doing fine, but
yeah, I mean, there's being the #1 game, and then there's being like the best game. I think StarCraft definitely gets the more important of those two, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Longest standing as well.
Oh, get the pizza. What upgrade is that?
Oh, yeah, that's the pizza upgrade.
It's a pizza upgrade.
Someone click that upgrade.
I guess it looks like is it like the burrow upgrade? I guess is what I was like kind of imitating there. But it just makes me want a pizza taste. It seems like there could be some pizza tonight. That guy's trying to research it. We'll see if the pizza arrives before the GSL.
We gotta see if the Africa studio is teching up to layer right now. Otherwise, we can't get pizza.
Yeah, like we gotta talk to David Kim and reduce the build time of pizza because it might not be fast enough for us to get it in time. Yeah, we gotta get a new
patch here. Now, in this game, important to note, it is one gate.
Yeah, it's a variation. You know, he's changed it up a little bit. I guess based on the fact that it's a larger map. And only one Stargate so far. Obviously, it's a very much faster Stargate, so I think it's going to be Oracles instead of Phoenixes initially here. Just because, you know, that's one of the unit that you can get quickly and then do some damage with, and it can have a lot of utility later. Whereas if you're going like one Stargate Phoenix, it's not as threatening and not as useful in the early game either. The Adept is such a terrifying unit, and so is the Oracle. In the early game, you have these two kind of poking around. If the Zerg makes too many mistakes, it can actually just be fatal, just the harass itself.
Okay, so he's slowly edging in here with this one Adept.
Just really scouting with it. And
well, you notice you can slowly edge forward. It's pretty cool the way he does it. And check and see, okay, what kind of defenses does he have? Tech and Oracle here. Obviously, Zerg gets pressured into making a few more Lings because otherwise the Adept can just do too much damage.
Yeah, he's not going to overcommit here either. The Lings can also be used once speed finishes to poke at a third base and pressure it. He knows now this is just one Gateway Adept, otherwise there'd be 4 here right now, and in fact there's only 2. So he knows what's going on, but he doesn't yet know, because of its cross spawns here, he hasn't scouted the Stargate yet. He's about to just now see that Oracle for the first time. Let's see how quickly he can get those spores up.
Did he actually see the Oracle?
Well, he definitely sees the second one now.
Okay,
so.
yeah, now he sees the second one. I don't believe the link past that one just yet, but the Oracle is coming down now, and this is going to be a little bit tricky here. It's coming over, and by the way, Protoss is not intending to win the game with us. This is just to harass, and the third base is coming up pretty nicely. So I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see as you know we cast more of these exactly what the timings are going to look like here for each of these respective builds. It seems like with a second Oracle, there's actually no way for Zerg to take out the Nexus,
third base, yeah,
the third base, yeah, because it's just impossible. The Oracle will kill everything too quickly, and Adepts can handle that as well.
Yep, and he sees the spores. He's like, okay, I forced spores. I'm going to use these, Oracles mostly defensively here now. I mean, if you make 3 spore callers, that's basically like you killed 3 drones and you paid to do it.
Interesting that he sees the Nexus, the third Nexus coming up, and actually that's when you saw 5 extractors making it once.
Yeah.
So he was barely mining gas this whole time, guys. If you want to map out any builds from here on out, seems like he wants to really focus on just getting as many drones and being safe from Adept Oracle. And when he sees the Protoss isn't actually gearing up for anything more aggressive, boom, there goes the tech.
So a few drones get killed here, just 7 actually. It's quite significant, but he mined safely for a long time. But with 2 Oracles, you can find an angle and basically one-shot the drone like that, and you can catch some transferring drones as we saw there. Yep. It looks like Departure is going to go again into ranged units. He's going into the Hydralisk Den as well as the +1, but skipping the Roaches entirely this time, just jumping right into Hydratech. And perhaps even faster Lurker Tech.
It's possible that in some of the other games, we saw Zerg maybe rely a little bit too heavily on Roach. What Protoss does here, they get exactly the third base up and exactly, in this case, enough pylons to hold off any attack. And then they do this massive tech that is unprecedented compared to the other StarCraft games we've ever casted historically, because you never got bases this fast in StarCraft until Legacy of the Void. So, I mean, it's pretty wild. You get like the Fords, the Robo, Stargates, everything, upgrades all at once, and
I mean, you just have so much gas so quickly.
Yeah,
you just kind of dump it all into everything that's important, right? That's why we see so many double Stargate builds too, because it's like, well, you can have double Stargate and double Robo in this case. The Zerg can't punish you with this meta. So we're going to see a few more drones killed here. He's actually been doing quite some damage. Like, he's been getting some consistent harass done with these Stargate units. None of them have died, so they're always going to be useful. He can even go over here and attack this 4th base. There's no defense set up there yet. And I don't think he can, like, kill it, for example, but he can catch some transferring drones. He can stop Spore Crawlers from going over there. The creep isn't connected, so Queens can't get over there easily.
Zerg is airtight right now. The Phoenixes should not be able to get in and do much damage. And now we're going to see, at least from Departure's standpoint, what is the proper way to approach this. This is more common than uncommon for Protoss to attack in this direction. So far, though, it seems like we're having actually a very similar build to what we had in the previous game.
Yeah, it's
just a massive, you know, he had range attack there, massive Roach, Hydra, Ravager soon to be. I think we can all bet on that.
Yeah, he's just going to morph once they get there. But, you know, this is, again, the same sort of build from Stats as well. It's one of those situations where this time, though, the Zerg is attacking a lot faster. Like, you know, +1 is not even finished yet. Last time it was finished. Charge is not going to finish during this battle. And I don't know how many sentries he even made this game. I think much less than before.
Yeah, I think you might be right, Wolf. I think this attack is exactly a minute quicker. I'm not totally sure. I'd have to check the VOD of the game. I think the other attack was at 9 minutes or something like that, and this one's at about 8.
Yeah,
don't hold me to that one, guys, but I believe it's about like that.
Yeah,
but let's also remember that other attack had a lot to do with just the angling from what happened in the last game. So the last game, he got really good force fields up and actually just blew away part of the army. Now, note the technique here. He goes for the pylons because that's a guaranteed kill.
Yep. He's actually going to try to cut this army, this Protoss army, in half. He's going to try to catch the reinforcements on the ramp, and the Hydras can actually do so much. And this
the corrosive bile actually connected really, really well.
Yeah, this is not enough Protoss here.
Yeah, there's just not. Yeah, there's totally not enough. And look at this. He stutter step micros forward. The Immortals are just stuck over here in the bottom right and now obliterated. And look at this. It connects beautifully with the reinforcements coming up from the bottom.
This is a big disaster for Stats. He's losing way too many units here.
He doesn't have any Hydras as far as I can see. But the Phoenixes can't be picking up units forever. And at the rate he's destroying probes and he's going to be eating through these Zealots, this might be...
I think it's game over.
Yep, you beat me to it. I was going to say this might be the beginning of the end here for Stats.
Yeah, I think.
And what I believe was a time and attack at a slightly better time. If you remember the last game, there was a moment where the other two Immortals came out a little bit quicker, and also Zerg had to try to rotate around the expansion to hit it another time. It seems like Departure did a little bit of a better job. Now, let's also remember that the opening there from Stats was also a little bit different. That was 1 gate into Stargate.
Yeah, it was Oracle play, not the early Phoenixes.
And that may not lend itself to have enough sentries as well, just depending on how he techs to that. I believe he gets 4 sentries in the build where he goes 2 gates, right? And then in this build, did he have only 3?
I think also not only did he only have 3, I think he made them late. They didn't have a lot of energy, whereas before he made those sentries out of the gateways before they even warp gates. They were out so early they built a ton of energy. He did not have as many force fields this previous game. The positioning for Departure was much better. He wedged himself between the bases. And yeah, I think like our theory about the attack being just a little bit faster is just the case. You know, he didn't have, I think last time he had 4 more Immortals. He had 2 more whole sets of Immortals coming out. This time only a few Immortals there. And those corrosive biles connected, and pizza time. Pizza upgrade complete.
Pizza time, boys. It's Papa John's.
It's Papa John's, man.
That's the one where wherever I eat it and I see myself in front of the mirror naked and my body looks different. It's not good for me, man. All right, thumbs up for the pizza. It's coming down. Hopefully we can steal a box, Wolf.
I hope so.
Hopefully we can steal a box of pizza. Okay, guys, so I want to go back and talk for just a second about what we're seeing here with Corrosive Bile. Okay, there's 2 things that I really like. All right, when he triggers the first pylon cannon, if you note, he immediately guns that down with Corrosive Bile without engaging with his army, okay? Because that's a guaranteed hit. He's also using Corrosive Bile the moment that he has an angle where he can force the Protoss for his army to disconnect. He fires it in there because Corrosive Bile works like a force field that doesn't physically block off your army, but if you don't move your army into an uncomfortable position, you're going to take damage anyways.
That's right.
He did that pretty effectively to split Stats' defensive army at the 3rd base in half, and then he was able to isolate all the Immortals down there in the bottom right and just tear through them.
Yeah, whenever the Protoss army has to step back because of those biles, that's when you get into a better position. You better your concave. You step into range to start hitting those pylons. Or in this case, in the last game, he's even poking at the pylons at the natural with his Hydralisk because they got a lot of range. And that was just an overwhelming army. Protoss army too small.
It is time for game number 4. Stats against Departure here at the GSL Code A. Let's do this. In the upper left, in the blue.
KT Rooster Stats.
Stats.
And in the bottom right, in the red, he is
MVP 치킨 마루 Departure.
Well, I have a feeling, Tastes, we are going to see very similar builds on this map.
Yeah, you might be right. We're going to have to find out. Oh, pizza time.
Oh, he's like, the
Look
pizza
at this.
is
This
good.
pizza fest. Look at that.
So much pizza in this room right now. I can smell it.
Like when people show the slice in the camera. That cracks me up.
So, yes, in fact, there is pizza. Yeah, we got it.
The pizza is real. Okay, so one thing we got to note about this map, it's different from some of the other maps we've seen in that, especially for this season, we don't have a base, a free expansion in the back of your base.
Yeah, and that's something that the first games that we've seen already today, you do have, especially on the first 2 maps, like really free base, basically. Now, on this map as well,
Wolf?
Yeah, free basing.
That's bad for you. No, go ahead, please.
But the key about this map for bases is, yeah, the natural is a little bit more exposed, and like I say, it's not a huge deal right now, but the 4th base, which is very difficult to take, becomes a challenge because when you look at...
we got pizza.
Oh, my God.
There's pizza here. Now we're going to find out what kind of pizza is it. I'm betting we don't normally get pepperoni. Whoever orders pizza for us always gets... It's
It's like olives and pepperonis.
And sausage, Wolf.
Oh, there's some sausage in there, yeah.
You got to be able to play the what's on the pizza correctly. I believe we have some onions on here.
Okay, looks good to me.
They might be some green onions.
Maybe some peppers in there.
And hold on a second.
No cheese in the crust?
The crust, I think, is stuffed.
Oh, is it?
I'm going to just break this open so the viewers know and they feel bad. It is not stuffed. No stuffed crust. Okay.
Well, going back to what I said, because the pizza was definitely more important, but
it was much more important, so I'm glad we got that.
Yeah, I'm glad that actually everyone knows. It smells really good. The 4th base is very difficult to take. It's far away. If you take the gold base, it's like right next to the Protoss base for Zerg, for example. If you take the 4th, like any sort of walk across the map sort of attack is so easy to hit.
Oh my God, we got hot six coming in here.
And pizza. It's the best
We're going
Friday
ham
ever.
in here. This is crazy.
Best Friday ever.
Best Friday ever, man.
Somebody at home is like about to order pizza right now.
Yeah, man.
Hope you can get some hot 6 with that.
Yeah, man. Oh, hold on. I like this. He just makes double extractor to avoid the adept harass.
Yep. Get out of here, adept. You don't
Queen
belong.
comes. Leave my babies alone.
So it's a rushed resonating glaive, to get the faster attack speed for these adepts.
Okay, we've seen this before, and it's ugly.
It's
this is
very
really hard
deadly.
to stop. I think a lot of this, if you want to mask it from the Zerg, depends on hiding your structures, because this Overlord's going to see this.
Yep, he sees the chrono. He's like, that's way too fast. Also, the chrono lets him know it's not DTs. See that research going? And let me tell you, he knows it's not Blink. He sees his adepts.
Blink Stalker all in. Well, let's see how equipped the Zerg is to hold this. It doesn't just come down to understanding and just knowledge of how the strat operates. It really does come down to tactically how you can manage yourself, how good your control truly is.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to try to hold this with mostly Roach. As you can see, a few of these things are already being taken out. No, Departure has all the information. There's no question what's going on. He's seen many adepts. He's seen the gateways being added. He sees the gases. He sees no 3rd base. He saw the research on the Twilight Council. He knows everything. And let's see what his idea of the best way to defend this is. It looks like it's going to be a Roach-based defense. Oh, he's supply blocked. 5 Overlords about to finish. This is a problem. He needs those Roaches out ASAP. He needs them out yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is going to be cutting it close. I think he's actually going to lose
This is a little
them.
bit anticlimactic here.
He kills most of those lings though because attack speed.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Make a gif of that and put it on Reddit.
Sorry,
people
man.
are upset right now.
Yeah, I was going to say the Adepts are pretty good. It just started cracking up at just how good they were because that was a real miss micro there, but it's like, nah, it's fine, man.
It's like, do you know how fast these things shoot? Oh my god, like shoots faster than a Marine. Okay, some stuttering of these shades here.
They're like ranged stalkers with, well, the stalkers they're like better stalkers. They can take more damage and can actually calculate where they want to blink. You don't impulse blink and you end up in the wrong spot. You can do all sorts of stuff.
You
like
can cancel the blink, basically.
Yeah.
Look at this. You can just kill a Ling and I'm out of here. I'm over here now.
I think the roach counterattack might be a problem, though.
Yeah, see, this is the comp that he's built. And this this rock right here, this little piece of debris, is going to actually create a problem. He might actually be able to hit this Nexus. The Mothership Core, I was about to say, needs to be over here. Without that, he would have certainly lost this Nexus. Still might. A lot of Ravagers on the way. Look at the supply. He's like doubling the army supply again. He's going to have a lot of Ravagers. There are no Immortals out. The Robos are just finishing this time, so this is going to be a very stressful, tense hold here.
Now, what he's trying to do is he's trying to bait out, you know, the pylon cannon here.
Yeah, he's trying to bait the overcharge here.
He might want to just get that pylon over there on the upper left since that's powering pretty much everything over there. He's going to rotate now, back down over here. Zerg army just a little bit quicker than the Protoss' army. He needs to get these pylons down here as well.
Yep. Decent force fields are going to cut this army in half. He can also stop the reinforcing Lings from getting in this.
Breaks the force fields. Is he going to do it again?
The sentries, again, if he keeps making sentries to make force fields, they're not that powerful against this sort of ranged army. They can do force fields, but they can't actually fight.
Corrosive Bile's actually connecting really, really well.
He's actually just going to wipe this army, and then maybe even push further into the natural.
Well, he's out of sentries. This Immortal is not meant for this world. And note the Ling's coming in here from behind. I love it.
Here
Look
they
at this. It's going to connect beautifully, taking out that Immortal.
And this is just a shutdown. And Departure is going to win this series, going to Kodes.
Look at this.
He's transitioning at home to a lair. He's not 100% confident.
To hell with your Adepts, man. Look at that. That's beautiful. Okay.
Oh, boom. Corrosive on the Adepts as well. This base is still mining, but he's basically camped. Like, he can't build anything. The Immortals are going to come out and die as they spawn.
Yeah, I mean, he's just done an absolutely fantastic job. We see a few more Warpins coming here. Unfortunately, like you were saying, well, the Immortal, it's going to pop out and get killed. The Immortal has to be in a good position, or it's bad news bears, man.
Well, wow, Departure defeats stats. Like I said, a huge upset. You know, if this was to happen, it did happen. Departure's like, sup, I'm on Kodes, put my name tag on it. You might want to like push it on a little bit harder, but yeah, he's in there.
Might fall off. If that name tag falls off, he is disqualified. Not really. Well, you're going to be swapping out
That's
for a
right.
moment with Sojung while we get this interview translated.
I'll be right back, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, Sojung.
Hello.
That was a pretty big, at least in my opinion, upset. Very exciting.
Yes, yes.
And we have pizza in other news. Uh-oh, we got him paying for the card. This is so baller! Ching-ching! What kind of pizza do you like, Sojung?
I like pepperoni. What did we get today, right?
Actually, I like pepperoni as well. We got the one that has like everything on it.
Oh,
I'm
right.
not a Black Olives fan, unfortunately, so I'm a little bit sad about that. But it is free, so I can't complain. Anyways, go ahead, take the interview.
천성민 선수 코드에스 꿈에 그리던 그물에 드디어 올라가는
This is the
시간입니다.
stage that he's been dreaming of forever.
자, 코드에스는 천성민 선수에게 어떤 의미였죠?
그냥 옛날부터
To me, Kodes is something, a stage that I've wanted to go.
얼마나 도전하셨어요?
For a
몇
long
년 만에
time.
올라가는 겁니까?
거의 한 3년 동안 예선도 못
I've-
뛰고
I wasn't able to get through the qualification stage for 3 years,
자꾸 예선에서 떨어져서
but I kept getting disqualified
그래도 이번에
before
올라갔으니까
Kodes.
이제
But now
더
I've made it to
잘할 수
Kodes. I think
거의
I'll be able to
모든
do better.
경기예요. 그냥 노모 트리플에다가 마지막에 바퀴에다가 개멸충 뽑아가지고 입구 또
He has that Ravager.
준비는 전략인 거예요?
아니 그냥 대엽이 형이 뭔가
I didn't prepare for this, but you know, I was
이번에
thinking
개멸충
that
저글링 올인을 배제하시는
Stats wasn't thinking about Ravager all in.
즉흥적으로 그냥 했어요.
오,
Links, and this was just improvised. I didn't prepare this at all.
보자마자 맞고 영러시 가겠다는 생각을 그때부터 해버린 건가요?
대엽이 형이 그냥 사도로 찌르고 트리플을 올리고
I saw him going with the depth and
그냥
third
바로
base.
포스트로 올리고 그냥
네, 제도도 선수
And I
같은
just went for
경우에는
it.
빌드가 이제 저글링으로 흔든 이후에도 가멸충 짜내기가 막혔는데도 세라스페어 대각선이 나왔는데 다시 한번 시도를 해줬잖아요.
네.
시도한 이유가 있을까요?
JP is
원래
asking
사실
why
다른 거
he
하려고
kept
했었는데
going for it,
처음에
even
예언자도 너무
if it was
잘 맞고
defended.
사도 견제도 딱히 안 당해가지고
Well, I wasn't
그냥 너무 잘
killed with the
째져가지고 그냥
adept
가면 이기겠다 싶었어 그냥.
or the oracle, so I thought I would be able to win if I just went.
그것만 있었던 게 아니었네요.
So Kisado was asking if there was more builds planned, and there's one more, but he wasn't able to play it tonight.
아 요즘에 MVP 치킨마루 분위기가 왜 이렇게 좋아요? 어제 뭐
And Castor Park is pointing out that MVP Chikamaru has been doing so well.
잘합니까?
Asking about
Yeah.
Troya, the head coach.
감독님께서도 잘하시기도 하고.
Well, Troya is also a good
팀원들이
player,
다
but
전체적으로
our teammates are on a good streak right now. They're practicing a lot, hard.
그래서 시너지 효과가 좋은 거
이게
And I think that's
스포츠가
working out a good
마음껏
synergy.
먹고 경기 팀 분위기가 좋아지다 보니까 아니 선수들이 쟁쟁한 상대를 꺾어내고도 올라가는 거 아닙니까?
He's saying that all those chickens help them advance to Korea.
한번 해야죠.
일단 연습 도와주신 상원이 형,
Well, Seed, thank you,
홍섭이 형,
Seed,
아니,
Troya,
이영석 감독님
네.
그리고
for helping me out practice for
그리고
this
재훈이랑
Korea match.
데드픽셀즈의
Blaze and
지연이에게 고맙다고
patience
하고
from the Pixels.
항상 믿어주시는 부모님께도
And also my
감사하다고
parents always
말하고
trust me.
네,
And believe in me.
10년간의 도전 끝에 드디어 코드에서 입성에
And here we have
성공했습니다.
Troya.
아니 게임을
the head
가장 많이
coach. He's
하는
almost cloaked back
감독이에요. 거기다가 지금 항상 지금 대회 예선도 나오고.
Troya is
거기다가
also participating in
그러다 보니까
Korea,
옆에 잔소리 좀
if
많이
I'm
할 것
correct,
같은데
right?
어떠세요?
I
His
think
name
you're
is in
correct.
Korea,
He's-
right?
감독님이 게임을 잘 아시니까
Well, Troya knows the game a lot
정말
well,
아,
and so it helps us a
자
lot
그러면은
to
3년 만에
prepare.
올라오고 지금 부모님도 보고 계시니까 이번 시즌 코드에스에서 어떤 존재감을 보여주겠다. 끝으로 각오 한 말씀 들어보겠습니다.
일단 아직 실력이 그렇게 많이 올라온
Well,
것 같지가 않아요.
I don't feel really good
고지명식까지
right now.
일단 1차 목표로
my skills, but
네.
I really want to go to the group selection stage,
열심히 하고
and I'll practice, do my
알겠습니다.
best.
자 오늘 올라간
as
현정민
always.
선수 여러분 다시 한번 뜨거운 박수를
And this was
보내주십시오.
departure from MVP
네,
Chikamaru.
다시 한번 축하드리고요. 자 이렇게 1경기가 종료가 됐습니다. 이어서
All right,
두
cool
번째
stuff.
경기를 좀
Very
안내를
exciting.
해드려야 되는데요. 잠시만.
I really like how he played that. I thought he did a good job.
이원주 선수의 대결이 기다리고 있습니다.
I thought Stats was going to do a little bit better. I've been casting him all the way back in since early Brood War when I first came out here, but seems like he needs a little bit more work. Anyways, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be going on to our second best of 5 here in today's GSL Code A.
In the past, I've been a fool. It's the truth I've lived through. All I know is I must keep you by my side, keep you by my side. If it rains, then let it rain. If it hurts, I'll share the pain. All I know is I must keep you by my side, keep you by my side. And I always wanted to belong. I always wanted to belong. Will you stay with me tonight? 'Cause I'm tired of saying goodbye. You're the truth I can't deny. And I'll never let you go. 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 In the past.
곰돌이가 춤을 추니까 웃기죠? 이상해 보이나 봐요. 세상에 이상한 게 어딨어? 씨름하다 춤춘다 했을 때 모두 무모하다 했어요. 거리에서 춤춘다 했을 때 역시 무모하다 했고 100kg 넘는 곰돌이가 이렇게 날렵해질 줄은 4년간 거리로 출석하는 팬들이 생길 줄은 저도 몰랐으니까요. 모르지만 가는 거예요. 근데 그 무모한 만큼 막 열정이 생기거든요. 전 그게 너무 좋아요. 아, 내가 살아있구나. 그런 희열감? 이 무모함으로 지금의 BJ의 춤추는 곰들이 됐습니다. 무모하다? 그건 다른 말로 살아있다.
아,
한번 맛보면 매니아가 된다. 치킨 매니아. 자네가 그 치킨 매니아인가?
새해 첫날 영국에서 날아온 선물입니다. 버디의 Keeping Your Head Up 신곡인데요. 버디는 참 많은 분들이 알고 또 좋아하고 계시죠? 저도 버디의 노래를 듣다 보면 일단 따뜻하고 깊이 있는 목소리에 빠져들게 되고, 그런데 알고 보니 이 목소리의 주인공이 96년생이라고 하고 여기에 작사, 작곡까지 직접 할 정도로 능력자라고 해서 또 한 번 깜짝 놀라게 되는데요. 버디의 이번 노래 참 가사까지 좋습니다. 가사를 들어보면 스스로 이겨낼 수 있을 때까지, 감당해낼 수 있을 때까지 손잡아주면서 지켜주겠다, 이런 메시지를 전하는데요. 좀 추운 겨울날 따뜻하게 와 닿는 노래입니다. 버디의 Keeping Your Head Up 함께 들어보시죠.
Times that I've seen you lose your way, you're not in control, and you won't be told. All I can do to keep you safe is hold you close till you can breathe on your own, till you can breathe on your own. Hold tight, you're slowly coming back to life. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, darling. Let go of all your haunted dreams tonight. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, darling. Hold tight, you're slowly coming back to life. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, darling. Let go of all your haunted dreams tonight. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell. I won't let you down. Everyone keeps a darker place to lose control. You're not alone. And when you come looking for embrace, I know your soul. I'll be your home till you can breathe on your own. Till you can breathe on your own. Hold tight, you're slowly coming back to life. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, darling. Let go of all your haunted dreams tonight. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, darling. Hold tight, you're slowly coming back to life. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, darling. Let go of all your haunted dreams tonight. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, and I won't let you down. You never think that you can fly. You'll always swim against the tide. Don't you know your pain is mine? And I would die 1,000 times to ease your mind. To ease your mind. Hold tight, you're slowly coming back to life. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, darling. Let go of all your haunted dreams tonight. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, darling. Hold tight, you're slowly coming back to life. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, darling. Let go of all your haunted dreams tonight. I've been giving you hell, I've been giving you hell, and I won't let you down.
이건 빨리 복귀하냐 서울이에요? 때문입니다. 아쉽기 때문이죠. 직접 오신다 출신의 청가 끝에 샤시간에 이럴 수 없습니다. 시작.
GSL.
As I speak, pizza is being chewed in my mouth. Slowly, I enter diabetic shock.
It's been...
Must keep going.
It was a great break for us. We had pizza.
Oh, hold on, I need some water. Just talk.
Yeah, I'll talk about our next matchup coming between Byung and DRG Ling. Our third match tonight coming up later will be Bomber versus Seed, but the second match of the night is going to be, I think, probably the big fan favorite because everyone is wondering how this new player will fare in his very first broadcasted match ever.
Okay, I'm here.
Welcome back.
Pizza was good.
Now, here's Byung. He's been in the GSL 11 times. His first time was in 2012, one of the first players to switch over from Casper Brood War to StarCraft 2 and do well, and actually, making it all the way to even the last recent GSLs. It's a very top-tier Terran.
Yeah, he's a great player. I expect him to have some pretty spectacular results today, but I've already been wrong once. Ling, yeah, maybe he'll do it.
Yep. Now, DRG Ling is his first GSL ever. It's his first broadcast match ever. His hair looks like my hair looked like in 10th grade.
Is that actually tied up?
It's not tied. It's just longer on the edge, and it got a bit curly for whatever reason. It's like literally what my hair looked like in 10th grade. I feel like I can relate to him.
Really, Wolf? I was pretty sure you had a beard in 10th grade like you do now.
I did have a beard.
I believe you were actually born with a beard, right?
Yeah, it's been a lot. I've had him shaven for a long time.
Wolf popped out and he went wah, esports. I said with an attitude like that, you can go straight to a gaming Reddit right away.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at these map states really quick. Laralac Crest, Ruins of Ceres, Orbital Shipyard, Dust Towers, and Pryan Terraces. Now, no one really knows anything about DRG Ling. Like, maybe we should just call him Ling. I don't know. It's kind of a weird idea.
Let's call him Ling, I think. Well, that is a reference to DRG, right? Like,
yeah,
he's a Zergling from one of DRG's Zerglings, correct?
They were actually interviewing him before the matches started. I listened to the interview, and basically said like he kind of thinks of himself as like DRG's one of his biggest fans. You know, he's been following DRG since the beginning. He's like it's basically like one of his idols, right? And now, you know, he's here playing the booth like DRG once did.
Well, guess who else we had in the past?
Marine King /Boxer.
/Boxer, named himself after Slayer's boxer, Johan. He had some success, so we've seen some winning streaks with attitudes like that. And we're actually jumping right into this game. I guess we're going faster than I thought we were here today. This is game number one. Byung against DRG Ling here in the GSL Code. In the bottom right, in the blue, a veteran of the GSL.
CJ 엔트스 뿅.
There he is. 11 GSLs.
And in the upper right, in the red.
스바누 동메굴림.
So that pronunciation you hear there is actually like basically why like DRG Ling probably shouldn't be written like DRG Ling because that's not actually how you pronounce it.
Did you see that sign?
Yeah. Future is now for this guy. He's got a big future ahead of him if he can get into Code S.
Excuse me.
It's actually, I can't even think of the last player who went into Code S like one time, you know? Like if you think about it, there's like never a moment where it goes, oh wow, this is this guy's first Code S. Like that's pretty rare because we have so many players that have done so well.
Future is now. The present
GSL.
is the past.
So, you know, let's talk about this player because very rarely, like ever, in the history of StarCraft 2 for the past several years, do we have a new player go through a qualifier bracket and make it to Code A. It's almost always players that you've seen before. It's like sometimes it's a player you've seen before only like 4 times or 5 times, but you've seen him a while. This is his first time playing on a stage like this. He's never played in Starly. He's never played GSL before. Never
DRG's watching. We have to assume that much.
Oh, we definitely.
The pressure's
absolutely
on.
Watching.
That's tough, man.
It's really hard being the new kid on the block. it's really hard sitting in the booth for the first time.
When you went to competitive tournaments for games, did you ever get nervous?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually amazing. Like, I was getting nervous. I mean, this is like way long ago in like the Cretaceous period of esports. But, I mean, I would get nervous. There'd be like, you know, a dozen guys at a LAN, and I was freaked out, man. I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like for these guys here, knowing that not only are there tons of people watching and, you know, this being produced on TV, but the whole world's watching. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. This guy says Terran's really weak, and also he says that Adept's really strong, basically. He didn't say it that politely, but the Reaper gets 1 kill here, and his buddy is actually not coming across the map, is he? There's only 1 Reaper here, it looks like, so just going to put on a little bit of pressure here.
Yeah, he went for a quicker
just 1
reactor.
Reaper.
Yeah, just 1 Reaper, quick reactor. And I think he will probably go into starport play from here.
I'm really curious. Yeah, I'm really curious to see how well DRG Ling does here, because we talked about, you know, briefly about what it means to sit in the booth, how getting nervous and things like that. I feel like most of the pros we saw for their first GSLs were all ex-Brood War pros that also had sat in the booth before. Like, this is a player we have seen like never sit in the booth ever.
Look at the setup there with the Lings. Oh! The idea was good. The execution, not so much. The Reaper now goes inside.
It's gonna lose it anyways, though. The Queen comes out and does the fatal blow, basically.
And that means no more potential scouting there for Byung. He does have Hellions coming out in pairs right now.
Now, there is just a little bit of gas mining going on for DRG Ling. Dongri Guling, as is basically supposed to be pronounced.
No, we're going to go DRG Ling or Ling.
It's like...
I'm vetoing that.
It's just so much harder. I don't even know if it's hard to say. They're both very difficult to say. I like Ling. But anyway, the Hellion's going to come up here, poke a little bit. Wants to make sure he can stop tumor spreading. He's going to actually scout this Roach Warren, which is pretty important. And actually going to just lose both Hellions while doing so. I think it was definitely looking elsewhere when that happened. But saw the Roach Warren making a 3rd CC on the high ground for safety. He's going for Cloak. Something that we have been seeing a lot in this matchup. Not every time, but, you know, it's some players stylistically like it. Some players like Beyond don't like it as much. Win TVZ. So we'll see how much damage he gets done with this. A large amount of Overlords being made here for Ling / DRG Ling. That's a complicated name to say, but see how many roaches he ends up committing to here. I think he's just going to make a few, and he's just continuing to drone overall.
Going to intercept this Overlord over here with the Marines. That was a good scout there, though, by Ling. He does see everything he needs to know for the time being as to what Terran's going to be up to. He's going to see the timing of that command center and exactly where the production is at. Now, Cloak is done. He may be able to, Byung might be able to get in here and actually get some drone kills, and that'd be pretty huge.
Yeah, let's see how many he gets. Sport just finishes here. Only 2 kills on that Banshee.
Not a shot from that Sport to connect with that Banshee.
Yeah, very well placed. And look at this, it's just going to sit between these bases out of the detection range. The lair isn't done yet. Sees that this Spore isn't done, and he's like, no, this Spore's not even done yet. I'm going to get a few more.
Yeah, and he can actually do this for quite a while. It's going to be pretty annoying here for Ling. There's a 2nd Banshee coming up here, although I don't believe that's going to be a good angle if he tries to go into the main. That should be contested pretty easily.
Yep. So this Banshee will get a few more kills here.
Yeah, good job there by him.
And now the Overseers can come out, so it's going to be a little bit tougher to get damage on. This Banshee's out of energy and still finds a sweet spot. And this has actually been an incredible amount of damage. He's actually behind in workers now versus Byung. And the problem is he's going for like Roach speed and 2 evolution chambers. He doesn't have the economy to make a big swell of roaches, which means Byung can be safe. He can actually go double upgrades, put his 3rd CC on the low ground now. Byung knows that he's incredibly safe right now. There's no sort of pressure that can really punish him because he killed so many of the Zerg's workers that there can't be like a swell of 20 roaches moving across the map with Ravagers or anything like that. He already has Stim finished. And, I mean, this is very, very much a good place for Byung right now.
Yeah, Byung is looking like he's in great shape, and he has not missed a beat here. Macroing up very well, and we should be seeing you know, pretty standard Terran push coming out here. We've seen some games where Terrans rely much more heavily on siege tanks with medevacs comboed together. That does not seem to be the case, at least so far in this game. He's instead got a good amount of Hellions and Marines. He went for a little bit of a more traditional tech route. We've seen this especially in Heart of the Swarm being used. Which is fine. I mean, we don't know which one's better yet. It seems like he's sticking with what he's more used to so far.
Yeah.
And he's going to go with the Widow Mine. So this is a push. Looks a little bit old school, but, I mean, it's definitely something that Byung's had a lot of experience with. So
Sure. Now, we've seen a lot of a play from even Beyond doing pushes like this with Hellions leading the charge. Usually with Hellbats, the armory was a bit late here. It lines up with his 1-1 upgrades finishing, but it's like not quite lined up with these the attack here. It's going to be difficult to really commit to this, especially because it was broadcast to Ling here. Ling knows exactly which angle it's coming at. You can use these corrosive biles to slow it down. Some great zoning here. His creep spread is also not thick, but it is quite expansive, so he could actually, slow this push down with these roaches on creep.
Okay, good, nice job pushing him back a little bit there. Zerg army pretty scary. We do have the Hellbat transition. Not sure if he'd be able to do too much damage, but I think with the drop, that's going to be the real story. Coming in here now, this is going to force the army here for Zerg to disjoin, and now we're going to have attacks on 2 different fronts.
Yeah, this is actually a really, really going to be, something that he needs to be careful with Byung, not to lose too many units. Now, something we haven't talked about yet is we're actually seeing Infestors coming out very quickly. Pathogen Glands already on the way. This is definitely a new way to synergize with Ravagers. You can actually lock them down. You can lock the bio down with the Fungals and then drop the Corrosive Biles on top of that bio.
And he's stimming now and running away. Looks like he wants to get these rocks, and he does break down the rocks. That's going to isolate him away from that expansion if he wants to actually go up there and attack that.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually going to fight over the rocks instead.
Yeah, I thought he was going to run up there and do some ninja plays and take that out, but not the case here.
Yeah, I would have rather seen that, to be honest. I think he definitely could have gotten that base.
I mean, Zerg definitely tears down those rocks pretty quickly. Cloak.
I was about to say there's no detection here. None whatsoever. The Corrosive Biles could still potentially hit those, but this is going to be a challenge.
He might have not actually identified that there was the base up there.
Did you lose game sound suddenly, too, or is that only me?
I have lost sound, but
okay.
you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Just making sure we're both like still on the page. Same page with each other. But yeah,
this game, let's just take a moment here. This game feels really different without sound, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of beautiful in a way, too, though.
Yeah.
It's better with the sound, but Fungal will finish off these Banshees.
Zerg might just have too much here. Again, Byung going with a very more traditional style. I don't know if it's appropriate for Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, very Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, it's definitely what he feels most comfortable with. And we'll see. It's only the attacks now coming up here, stimming, moving forward.
Yep, looks like we went to a backup PC for observing here, but everything is going to be fine at the end of the day. Now, Hive is on the way, and we've got a few Ravagers morphing in here. Again, this is the synergy with the fungal growth ability with the Ravagers. If you're new to StarCraft, even if you actually watch a lot of Heart of the Storm, you don't see that many Infestors used for fungal growth. It locks units in place, it does AoE damage to them. And you can actually combine that with Corrosive Bile to kill large clumps of bio.
Yeah,
he needs to split that bio! Whoa!
Huge amount of damage
Not safe for work,
and
Tasteless.
there's the
Oh, God!
Oh, my God!
Oh!
Beautifully done. It was a little bit overkill there with the Corrosive Bile. Nicely done. Now, missile attack is almost done here. Level 2 for Ling. I don't think Terran can actually push down into that. I believe we have a drop coming up over here, though, towards the main.
He's got a ton. Okay, that's really important because there's nothing there to defend that, and that's double drops too, Tasteless. But the Ultralisk Cavern is going to be made now. He's at that Hive tech. A few Lings here coming back. He's going to need more than just a few Lings. He's actually bringing his whole army back. He's actually sending way too much back. This actually leaves Byung an opportunity to hit that 4th base. I don't think he realizes it just yet.
Oh, nicely done.
Locking him down.
Oh, my God.
Ling, a great player,
Look
man.
at this.
Great to see such new talent, actually, here in in Legacy of the Void. This is what I was hoping was going to happen with Legacy. We're going to see new players we've never seen before. Give some of our veterans, like 11-time GSL player Byung here, some trouble.
He's giving him a run for his money. He's actually maxed out as well, by the way, Ling is.
Uh-oh, he could catch his
Here
whole
we
army.
Go. And once again, Corrosive Bile raining down here. A nice arc there, though, by Byung. Byung now coming up. Corrosive Bile is defensively used to allow Zerg to retreat effectively.
Yeah, basically using them like force fields, like you were talking about earlier, stopping the army from moving through certain zones. It's going to take too much damage if it does. Ling's positioning here is pretty solid, but his Fungals are a bit late here. He needs to get those up on that army. Finally, some of them starting to go down. Some good Corrosive Biles going to be here, but this bio army is pretty huge. The Fungals are not quite.
I think he's just barely got enough, actually. Let's see.
I think the Terran might just barely have enough. This is like a really close fight.
Infested Terrans, yeah, he's just barely, and it's kind of funny because there were so many Ravagers that are actually so low on HP, and they were about 1 or 2 shots away from being picked off.
But he had enough.
Zerg, Zerg once again replenishing this, and we've seen this style not just against Terran here, we've seen this against Protoss as well, the Roachling Ravager style. Really able to bully players on the map pretty nicely, actually.